So who is Invern? Um, a legend, a myth. People tell stories about him, but no one really knows who he is for sure. To understand who he is, you need to know what Warlords is, and that's how I thought I'd start this out.
Alright, so I just arrived in the Warlord's lobby. Nothing looks too out of the ordinary except for the lack of Invern. So right now we might as well explore the many options that it has to provide. Alright, so first up is this really huge tree. There's nothing really that interesting about it. It's just a massive tree. Top text, big tree. Bottom text, it's so big. Next up is this parkour. I don't really like to do it. It kind of sucks because you can't really get past these ladders. Yeah, that's about it. It's the parkour. Alright, so then there's this little, like, lobby area. You got a leaderboard over here. You got a little weaponsmith here, mystery vault. You can choose a game mode. Capture the flag is by far the most popular. There's also domination. You can see how successful that is, as well as team deathmatch. Back here you can kind of choose your classes, shaman, mage, warrior, paladin. Nothing out of the ordinary. Another mystery vault, another weaponsmith. Little description. You can read that. Who cares? Really, it's not much out of the ordinary for a game. The Minecraft server Hypixel, which focuses on high-paced, action-filled PvP gameplay, where players can party up with their friends and choose between many very exciting new classes like Mage, Warrior, Paladin, and Shaman. Once you pick your class, you can choose a game mode. There's very, very exciting and innovative new features such as Capture the Flag or Team Deathmatch. After you get into a game, you can choose what subclass you wish. This will change what moves you have and what abilities you can use in-game. I personally use the Berserker for the Warrior, however there's also the Aquamancer for the Mage, Earth Warden for the Shaman, and Avenger for the Paladin. These aren't all the classes though, so make sure you go over all your options and find what's right for you. The way the combat works is simple. There's two main attacks, one which just simply does damage, and the other one which is a special move. This will change depending on what subclass you picked. For example, the Warrior, which I use, has the Wounding Strike, which is simply an upgraded version of the basic hit. There's also 4 special moves, which are one basic one and one ultimate move, and going up between those two in importance. These will also be determined by which subclass you pick and is what you'll mostly be using for your damaging attacks. Now that you understand how the combat works, you can join the red or blue team and fight it out against the enemy to try to win an epic gamer royale. Now that you understand how warlords work, we can talk about Invern. He's a player, or really more a virtuoso at the game, who completely changed the climate, and I managed to get into a game with him once, and it astonished me. It was like looking at a show. It didn't seem real. And now I'm trying to find him.
My first strategy consisted of sending him a barrage of friend requests in hopes that he would respond and friend me back. I ran into a problem.
Alright, so that's like the third one I've sent in a while, and I don't even think he's online.
So I realized that sending him a friend request probably wasn't going to work, as he was rarely online at the same time that I was, for many different reasons that we'll get into later. But from this point forward, my strategy was to try to get into a game with him and send him a message via the chat asking if I could get an interview, because I truly wanted to take a deep dive into the genius of this man. Beginning my quest, I decided to come up with a simple system to predict the probability of finding Invern in a game, just off of a dumb luck. And I called it the IPIM system, which is the Invern presence versus absence metric. Essentially, it's a 0 to 10 prediction, if you could say, to try and guess the probability of Invern being in any game joined at any time throughout a day, under the assumption that Invern did play the game that day, which is kind of where it fails. So the way it works is simple. First, we're going to take the estimated Invern game count, which is just how many games you think Invern played, and then we're going to multiply that by 100, and we're going to take that number and divide it by the number of games, which is the number of games per day, which is 1440 divided by your average time in game. If you add up all the games and then divide it by the number of games played, that's how many games are in that day, at least estimated. And we're going to take that number, which is the estimated Invern game count, times 100, divided by the number of games in that day, divide that by 2, and then divide that by 10. And you get your IPAM, which is your Invern presence to absence metric. I know this all sounds complicated. This is more or less what the formula looks like. It's very inaccurate, I found, because Invern, he's a very unpredictable person. We're trying to predict his schedule, and that's very hard to do. And the IPAM system, it doesn't really do that as well as I wish it could. But nevertheless, I still used it, and it was always low, and I didn't really get many good results out of just joining games randomly. I spent a while doing it, and I logged my results, and it didn't turn out as I expected.
To have an exclusive interview with a supposed witness of Invern.
Are you bro? Bro, can you not blow my eardrums really fast?
Yes, I'm going back home. House emoji, house emoji has come to be an early Christmas. Has come to be an early Christmas tree. Next year, the next time. What does that mean?
And put it all together. Shit myself. I'm gonna put my pants.
Hey buddy, was a little late, but I'm thinking emoji. I want the pancake. I cannot, I love heart emoji. This game has some great thumbs up, I love it. There's a guy doing tech support. Hey, good. Okay. Alright, what's the most recent one? I just don't want the people who have been in a relationship or anything, but I'm just a man. This is a good night day to go get it. Another tech support man. Oh. Was a good time for me, and you guys were doing good, and we cannot. I hit tech support. Good lord, my face is numb.
I got some more for you, dude.
Please fix the issue with the new iPhone next to my ops game to get the new one. What even is that? Pointing upward. Was epic gameplay is good. Heart emoji next year, new and great. Was my favorite app ever, and the server has a new set, and I have to play it for the first few minutes. Oh, I can feel my nose. Like, I'm not even kidding. Okay, what were we gonna do?
Alright, I'm back. I got the Hot Pocket. I got the Yeti. And I'm ready to roll. So you say you've seen Invern?
Yes.
What was he like?
Sexy? He was an attractive man. He had well he was very attractive.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Now what was that?
What what do you mean? He's Invern.
That's true. That's true.
But how do
So,
you,
what would you say was one of his most defining features?
his chin.
Very interesting. Did you learn anything important from him? And what was that?
Yes.
Oh yeah? So, what was it?
IT support man.
Okay. So,
Okay.
Invern,
Yeah.
how did he change your Warlord's experience?
Well, it wasn't Warlords.
No? What was it?
Roblox Parkour Obby 883.
Oh yeah? And how did he change your experience there?
He had so many shortcuts. It scared me.
He had all the shortcuts.
You-
So, what you're implying is that this man isn't merely just a Warlord's god, but he's just a general god at all video games. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yes, I am. He's a god in real life too.
God in real life.
His chin could
Is
cut
this
diamonds.
true? His chin could cut. He has a nice chin.
His chin could cut diamonds. I just said that.
So, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's like hella sharp, bro. I mean, like it could literally cut diamond in half. A diamond sword.
Diamond sword chin.
Yes.
Very interesting. So, what do you think that everyone else should take away from Invern?
Fear him if you do not learn from him.
What does that mean?
Do not become his enemy.
You're saying that if we don't take his examples, then we'll become like him?
If you take his example, you'll be safe. But if you don't, well, you'll die faster than a chicken in a
Then a what?
chicken in
A
a
chicken in a what?
chicken in a plate pan full of
Speak up.
foxes.
That's not speaking. You didn't say anything. Alright. That's very nice. I'm ending it here. So with some newfound confidence, I joined another game in hopes that it would have Invern in it, and much to my dismay it didn't. However, that didn't stop me. I interviewed some of the locals, I talked to other players in the game, and they had a mixed response to this thing. But that wasn't all. I realized that later in the day, I played this game at night, and it took a while for a lot of people to join, and I came across the realization that maybe Invern was asleep. Maybe I would have to wake up the next day, and I would have to join a game at the right time, which would add a whole another scale into the IPAM system, which was just completely impossible to predict, because like I said before, Invern is very unpredictable, very random. His gameplay, it really heavily depends on the chaos of life, I suppose. And as the day went on, I began to feel discouraged. I felt like I was grasping at straws, like Invern was so far away from me, yet with me the whole time. I just started looking at random discords and just Googling his name, and I found no results. And this really had a toll on me until I found something huge.
What is this? Guide Earthwarden by Infernal. This seems promising. Let's check out his account. Last seen today at 8:06 p.m. It was like 20 minutes ago. I think I found our man. Mission accomplished. I found Invern, the one and only. He's here, but still so far away.
I was ecstatic. I was over the moon. I was absolutely delighted. I'm so excited that I managed to find his account, whether it be an active account or not. But You know how it is. I found Invern and loads of content. He had guides, he had various stories about his experiences in the game, and it was honestly the best thing I've ever seen. It was educational. It was eye-opening for me as an experience, really. Just seeing this man's content, it moved me. Truly, I felt like a Padawan in his dojo of just Minecraft skill, talent. I felt like a mere mortal in the presence of a god looking down upon me. I got to the point where I felt like I was insignificant. I was simply sitting in the shadow of a giant in the warlord's community. Invern was his name. I looked at all of his comments. I went through all of his post history. I really did feel like he was my teacher and I was his student. I looked at his Earth Warden guide and his weapon optimization guide to try and optimize my gameplay, one could say. And it didn't go as planned, but I like to think that I improved just because I read this man's essay. He had such an impact on me that it changed my gameplay completely, to be honest.
Alright, game 1 with the Invern strategy. Looks like this lobby's about ready. Coochie man. We're guaranteed to win, for I have Invern on my side. The power of Invern will compel these sinners. I am the crusader of greatness. Ooh, free kill. Oh, too easy, dude. Right off the bat, we're just going in. Already got the flag. 4 of us here already on the return. This is what Invern will get you, ladies and gentlemen. Feels like Vietnam all over again. The power of Invern compels you. Yes. The power of Invern compels you all. Alright, they're going for a flag. Invern talked about this in his guides. Oh, that's another kill down for the Crusader of Invern. Oh, look at that. Scoreboard's all green. The power of Invern compels you. Indonesia. Come on. Yep. That's just how we do it in the Church of Invern. That was pretty high IQ. We didn't talk about that in the Holy Scripture. What in Invern's name is going on here? I feel like a mere shadow in the presence of this God. Here. Yep. Perish, sinner. Yep. No surprise here.
The first game went well. I won it without much trouble, obviously. I mean, I had Invern on my side. And I decided to hop into the second game to see if the results were consistent. Uh-oh, it's starting now, dude. This isn't enough, people. Invern set this up. It's a test. He has to be watching this. There's no way he isn't. Whoa. Invern didn't teach me about this. It was nice to get a taste of Invern through his Holy Spirit, but I needed more. He taught me this time, but I wanted to talk to him. He might have showed me skills, he might have helped me learn the game, but I needed more. I wanted to talk to Invern. I wanted to see him in person, not just read about him, not just see his guides, read his manuals and comprehend what he's saying, but I want to have a conversation with him. And to do that, I needed to get closer. I couldn't just browse his forum in hopes that, I could comment on one of his posts and he would respond. I needed to take action. I needed to go in and talk to him.
Alright, I've studied religiously at the altar of Invern, and I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to dominate this game.
Can't hear anything. That's alright.
Going into the second day, I was excited to try and find Invern, but I was met with disappointment as he seemed to have fallen off the face of the earth. There was no way to DM people in the Hypixel forum, and that put me back significantly because I did not want to make an account. And I asked around in other games, Minecraft, Roblox, the big two of the bunch, and no one seemed to know where he was or who he is. No one seemed to be educated. And this really put me back. Mandatory /F add Invern. Gotta hold mine for it at this point. I've just come to the conclusion that Invern has stopped existing. That has to be the only case. I've sent him like 8 friend requests. Might need to refer back to the Holy Scripture. The man is buried in the house. What are you doing? Oh, you're on my team. Oh, so it appears that I'm on blue team. I think Invern's left us. I don't feel his grace upon my soul anymore. Invern, help me. If Invern was here, that would make me a very happy young lass. The day and my search went on. No results came out of wherever I went. I searched far and wide. I left no stones unturned. All the nooks and crannies were peeked into. There was not an inch of space on this world that I did not scour in search of Invern, but nevertheless, I couldn't find him.
Haven't played this game in a while, probably gonna suck, but that's alright. Nook.
Yo, do any of you guys know Invern? Okay, of course. No surprise here. Seems like a good place to search for Invern. It's anime simulator fighter. Alright, it's time. So there's a ritual going on here, and no one seems to have seen Invern.
I was becoming blasé to the disappointment of not finding Invern in my games. However, I kept on going, kept on searching for him in the hopes that I might be able to see him, just out of pure luck, which I knew wouldn't work. This led to my mental state declining, and I went into a feeling of psychosis and derangement.
Where are you?
What are you? Whoa. Pandas.
Salve amici mi si popolare. Hodie nos potest facere a Minecraft playthrough. Primum rem cogito orbitet facere aliquam lignum. Valde Nietzsche. Quodo I am tempus aedificande domum. quam habemus nostram domum aedafi chavavimus debet ex fornicibus lapis quadim in gir iri emet. Deus Vult.
I failed to find Invern, and because of this, my sanity dropped drastically. I formed something that could be called a religion.
Rise, Invern.
The basis of it was the text that Invern posted to the Warlord's Hypixel forum. I studied them religiously, literally, and I developed a code of laws, systems of belief, and you could say I really was devoted to this. Then I realized it was stupid.
What am I doing, dude?
I tried to make a sacrifice to appeal to Invern and see if he would come down. Eat the usurper, Lizardo. Get the usurper. Eat him. Eat him.